everyone, and welcome back to another storytime video. Today, I am going to be talking about, in my opinion, what could be a very interesting subject. Now, I didn't find out till last week that Far Cry 6 is not going to be on the Steam store, mainly because Ubisoft does not like the fact that Valve takes 30% of everything that a game earns. And so, all Ubisoft games will no longer be on Steam. Now, I will still buy Far Cry 6 when it goes on sale in the Uplay store, because I want to play it, whether it be here on YouTube or for my own personal enjoyment. Well, probably both. But regardless, I still want to play it, so I'm not going to let the fact that it's not on Steam stop me. But I do all my gaming on Steam. It is very easy to get gift cards and get a whole bunch of games in one place. I mean, that was kind of the purpose of why Steam was made in the first place. It was so that Valve could distribute their games a whole lot easier about 20 years ago. So, it is kind of interesting to think about in a way, because I don't want, I would prefer other game companies not pull all their games from Steam. But at the same time, I fully understand, like, hey, if you can get a better cut elsewhere, why not do that? So, I fully understand that. I mean, if you put all that time and all that effort into making a game, and you know for a fact people will buy it no matter what platform it's on, I perfectly understand Ubisoft's decision. I don't like it, but I recognize that it is something they want to do, and I just have to accept it, and I do. Now, Ubisoft has made some pretty good games, like Far Cry. I believe the Assassin's Creed series is pretty good. I haven't played it, but from what I have heard, Assassin's Creed is pretty good. So it would suck. It sucks they don't want to put their games on the Steam store anymore. But, you know, I don't believe that Valve would want to take such a big cut of all the sales they make on Steam if Valve continued to make games. Now, they did make Half-Life Alyx last year. I will give them that. They have made a game in the last couple of years. Something that some game companies can't say. But regardless, That was the first game they had really truly made in 9 years since Portal 2. I mean, sure, you could say they had put out CSGO and Dota 2 before that. Well, aside from freaking trading card games that they thought would work, I I still don't understand why they thought that would work, but regardless, it didn't. And so I guess I should say that Half-Life Alyx was the first single-player game they made in 9 years. And unfortunately, I am missing out so far because it's VR, so I haven't gotten to play it. So that's a shame. And they should make that game to where you don't need VR to play it. Like, a lot of games will typically get remade in VR fashion. Skyrim, I'm looking right at you when I say that. They should totally do the reverse. But my overarching point is that even though Valve has made a game in the last couple of years, they hadn't made one for like a decade before that. And if Valve made games, I don't think they would want to take as much of a revenue cut, or as much of a revenue share as big as 30%. Now, the most optimistic outcome I have, but probably the most unlikely outcome I have, is that Valve starts making games again, which I think Gabe Newell has come out and said that they plan to make more games. But my teacher could say, hey, we're not having a quiz Monday. And turns out we are having a quiz Monday because he actually did make one over the weekend. But my point is that Gabe Newell can say that they're working on games or that they're making games, which I only read that one place, so I'm not exactly sure. But I seriously doubt it. Yeah, Gabe Newell has suggested that Valve is going to make more games, and he cited that Half-Life Alyx brought back their love for single-player games. So they should do that. They should not take such a big cut from games put on Steam. And then it's a win-win. People will hopefully get groundbreaking games again, and games will not necessarily be excluded from the Steam store at that point if they didn't take such a big cut. Now, I hope this doesn't turn into, with Valve, a whole the hero, or what's the saying? A person dies a hero or lives long enough to become a villain. I really hope that if they start making games again, that they aren't bad. I doubt it, but like I said, Half-Life Alyx was their first single-player game and their first real game. I put quotations around real because I know somebody will be like, well, CSGO and Dota 2 are playable, and those came out after Portal 2. Uh, Shut up. Uh, I'm worried about how the quality of their games that they make will turn out. They're rusty, like I was in this Doom gameplay after not playing for like a couple weeks. But I there was something else I was gonna say, but I completely. Oh yes, I kind of hope that if they do continue to make games, that they don't continue to make VR exclusive games because they said they made Half-Life Alyx partly due to the fact that they could be pioneers in VR. Now, I understand why they want to be pioneers in things. They have been pioneers in various different things with the Half-Life franchise for 2 decades, for 23 years now. And so if there's something new to come out that they can pioneer, they're going to. But I just hope that if they do make great games, that they're not VR exclusive. Because I'm not opposed to buying VR, but it would be the same thing with these console exclusive games. It's like, sure, I'm not opposed to buying a console to play some of these titles, but I already have a computer that works perfectly fine and runs games at least decently well, if not pretty well. So it's like I don't necessarily want to buy a console or a VR headset just for a game. And granted, I would probably look for exclusive games that I could do with that. But I just need to buy VR. I would totally play some games in VR and record them if at all possible. I think that would be fun. And it is. I'm pretty much open to playing every game in VR except for Portal. And I'm pretty sure why. And I'm pretty sure it's obvious why I would not want to play Portal in VR. Valve, do not, please, for the love of God, do not make Portal into VR. I got 2 words for you. Motion sickness. Practically, well, a lot of people would get motion sickness. I guarantee it. And so I've mentioned that before. I think in a BioShock Infinite video that Portal would be the only game, Portal and Portal 2 that being, and the subsequent mods to go along, or standalone mods, to not be good in VR. Because of that reason. So, but yeah, is let me answer the question that I put in the title. Is Steam really dying, in my opinion, or is it just simply an overreaction? Now, I've kind of thought on and off about this for a couple of weeks because, well, not a couple, but for a week because I had the idea when I read about Ubisoft not putting their games on Steam, like I said earlier in the video. Uh, no. No, I don't. No, I do not. Because so many game developers rely on Steam to put their games out to the public. And so without that, some people's games might not be known. Like the Kindergarten series is kind of well known at this point, and I don't think that series would have taken off like it did without Steam and a good community surrounding it. So that's one example of where I think Steam really benefits games. So I'm looking right at indie games there. And indie games are freaking fun, by the way. They can be loads of fun. Or they could very well fuel my masochism, like Ink did uh, 2 and 3 years ago. So I just like games, man. And so it would definitely be a win if Valve made some great games again. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I hope Gabe Newell can live up to what he said. And CS guys, I do believe that will do it for this storytime video. And until next storytime video, I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys! Thank you all for watching.